my first question is, why are Democrat voters, even in a state like Michigan, which is a purple state, why are Democrat voters so attracted to foreign candidates who so clearly hate the West and hate this country?
Look, Rob, it is a very frightening and a very dangerous thing that is happening to the Democrat Party. We are witnessing, quite literally, a communist takeover of the Democrat Party. Comrade Mondami in New York is a full-on communist. He's not a socialist. He is a communist. If you look at the candidates he endorsed in New York primaries, all of whom won. You look at the DSA candidate who won in Colorado, and now this candidate in Michigan, that they embrace communism, they embrace Islamism, and they openly hate America. And look, the Democrat Party, Trump derangement syndrome, I think, is a real medical condition. They hate Donald Trump so much that it is driving them to crazy town. And I got to say, Rob, some Republicans are celebrating, saying, OK, good, they're so extreme, we're going to win the general election. I actually don't put myself in that camp, because I don't want one of our two major parties to be absolutely friggin' nuts. Yeah. That is bad for America. Eventually, these lunatics will win.
They'll win.
And I would like two parties that actually has normal and sane people in it. And you look at Hassan Piker, who is campaigning with this lunatic in Michigan. He says it's America's fault not 9/11 happened. He blames us. He attacks America. That's sadly where the heart and energy and base of the Democrat Party is today.
It's terrifying how far left this country has been dragged in just recent years and in the last couple of decades. It's moved so radically to the left that you don't recognize at all the Democrat Party of the 1990s. They are now the Republicans, and that's really scary.
Look, Bill Clinton would be driven out of the party. John F. Kennedy would be driven out of the party. A couple of years ago, Elon Musk tweeted out a chart, and it showed a spectrum from right to left, and he used to be a little bit left of center. And then the second chart, he hasn't moved at all, right. And the spectrum's moved dramatically, and suddenly he's right of center, because he believes, like, we should secure our border, we should arrest criminals, that women exist and men shouldn't play against women in sports, and that we shouldn't sterilize and mutilate little boys and little girls. That apparently now, those views are unacceptable in the radical Democrat Party of today.
And just an indication, just to show how ridiculous it's gotten, I want to show James Tallarico. You're from Texas. He's running for your Senate, one of your Senate seats this fall in Texas. His reaction to an absolutely ridiculous claim from a young black Democrat voter. Take a listen to this.
The craziness in this country has gotten worse. Our people have getting killed left and right. Carmelo Anthony's case is just a tragedy. Excuse my language. But it is.
Our people are getting killed. Carmelo Anthony's case is an effing tragedy. Tallarico sitting there just nodding right along. Carmelo Anthony is the one that's still alive, as far as I understand. I don't even know what I just watched.
He stabbed another boy in the heart, a boy he didn't know, with no provocation, and he killed him. And that kind of racial radical views, they're cheering on the murderer and saying it's a travesty that the murderer was convicted. Here's a radical idea. Murderers should be punished. And you know what? Tallarico couldn't manage to say that sentence, that if you actually stab a teenage boy in the heart and kill him, you should go to jail. Because in the Democrat Party, they now stand for letting criminals go, right, letting murderers go, letting rapists go, letting child molesters go, letting gangbangers go. That's where the Democrats are right now.
You're exactly right. It's not, you shouldn't celebrate it, because this country's a pendulum. We swing back and forth. Democrats are going to win again. I don't know if it's going to be in this election cycle or the next, but they will win again. And if they're all insane, if they're all like this, the country's in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I want to just ask you one final question. You're co-authoring the Protect College Sports Act, regulating NIL money in college athletics. Big Ten, SEC endorsing it. What do we need to do here? Why is this needed? Tell us about this.
Well, listen, college sports is an amazing institution. It's something, what we have in America, every year, about 500,000 college athletes compete. And it's a path over the years for millions of young men and women to get an education, to learn skills that help them succeed in life.
Okay, Karl Marx, if you know who that is, who Hassan, the guy campaigning with the Michigan Senate candidate on the ballot today, praised, describing his goal. And the highest phase of communism is from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs, while being a self-proclaimed socialist who hoped to achieve communism. The modern translation to this is your fair share. And where have we heard this before?
Billionaires are going to have to start paying their fair share of taxes.
Forcing them to pay their fair share.
The richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes.
We demand that billionaires pay their fair share.
In America, the top 1% pay 40% of the taxes, while the bottom 50%, as you can see, only pay 3% of the taxes. If this isn't a call to abolish economic classes by taxing the rich into a lower class, I don't know what is. Oh, that's right. It's another key pillar of communism, just like collective ownership of property. Where have we heard that recently?
We will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers.
And what was the other one? Oh, that's right. Rejecting capitalism.
I think we have to understand that people do not believe that this version of capitalism has worked.
Either he's bad at math or he's stupid. America's GDP is greater than any other country in the world. I'd say we're doing pretty well with capitalism. Also, another pillar, strong welfare programs over private profit.
Medicare expansion all over the country. We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage.
Some people ain't worth $17 an hour. But another one is universal public health care.
Everyone gets a right to basic health care.
All end results of communism, using democratic socialism as the vehicle to get there, an ideology that has literally never functioned as theorized ever, nor resulted in prosperity at any given point. Let's take a look at the most notable members of the Democrat Socialists of America. We have 2 sitting Congress members that are, ironically, one with an economics degree, but they are card-carrying members of the DSA, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib. The DSA has also endorsed a slew of other people, all of which have embraced that endorsement. A list of a dozen commies you can see just scrolling across your screen right there. And since the Communist Control Act of 1954 states, quote, whoever knowingly and willfully becomes or remains a member of the Communist Party or any other organization having for one of its purposes or objectives the establishment, control, conduct, seizure, or overthrow of the government of the United States or the government of any state or political subversion thereof. Overthrow of the United States government. The head of the DSA, that 2 members of Congress are members of, and 12 more candidates that won their most have won their primaries already, and reps endorsed by, said on national TV that she basically wants to overthrow our government.
Senate. True. Okay, replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're saying it out loud. Again, the definition of socialism and therefore communism is, quote, advocating collective or governmental ownership and administration of the means of production and distribution of goods, which is the path to communism, of which the definition of communism is, quote, a doctrine based on revolutionary Marxian socialism and Marxism-Leninism, a totalitarian system of government which is a single authoritarian party state-controlled, owned means of production. So any of those libs that are trying to make a distinction between democratic socialism, and communism, they're all morons. And they're wrong, and they're lying to you. Yeah, I'd say we have a pretty clear case to prosecute some of these people. And what did the left say for Biden's whole presidency? Oh, yeah, no one's above the law, so let's get to locking up some commies.